hunt for unknown assailants who shot and killed a local chief Tuesday evening.
Former National Petroleum Authority CEO Mustafa Abdul Hamid rejects claims he implemented a scheme which extorted huge sums from all sector players as he appears before an Accra High Court alongside 9 others.
And later in the bulletin, Minister of Defense Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah reveals investigations have uncovered more cases of missing ammunitions belonging to the Ghana Armed Forces.
Coming up in business news, pressure mounts on government to sustain fiscal discipline as Finance Minister presents mid-year budget review tomorrow, July 24.
On the international front, Columbia University in the United States expels over 80 students for participating in protests against Israel's war on Gaza.
We have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
We are starting from the courts because former National Petroleum Authority CEO Mustafa Abdul Hamid has rejected claims he implemented a scheme geared at extorting huge sums of oil sector players. He, alongside 9 others on Wednesday, pleaded not guilty to multiple charges of money laundering and extortion as they were granted bail by the High Court.
The accused persons are said to have engaged in a criminal extortion scheme through which they unlawfully collected more than 200 million cedis from petroleum transporters and oil marketing companies. Proceeds from the scheme were allegedly used to acquire various properties. All accused persons pleaded not guilty to the charges, with lawyers for the former NPA boss accusing the OSP of embellishment during his presentation of the facts to the court. The NPA boss and 2 others were granted bail in the sum of 2 million cedis with 2 sureties to be justified. The other accused persons were granted bail in the sum of 2 million cedis with 3 sureties. They are to report to investigators once every 2 weeks. The case has been adjourned to August 26.
So the case has been adjourned to the 26th of August, which is just a few weeks away. Let's get some further perspectives on this. And joining us on Zoom now is our legal affairs correspondent, Joseph Akable, who was in court actually was following this particular story. Joseph, thank you for joining us. To start with, do we know that if all these accused persons have been able to meet their bail conditions?
I mean, what we can confirm as at now is that only Mustafa Abdul Hamid, the former NPA CEO, has been able to meet the bail conditions. His bail conditions were the same as 2 other accused persons in the sum of 2 million cedis and also 2 sureties to be justified. And he has been able to meet it. The 2 others who are the same condition as him have not been able to meet the conditions. And they are Jacob Kwamena Amwa and Wendy Newman. There are also 4 others. That is Albert Ankra, Isaac Mensah, Bright Bediako Mensah, and Kweku Abuaji Akwa, whose conditions were 2 million cedis with 3 sureties to be justified as well. They have been unable to meet those conditions. So as we speak now, they have been detained by the Office of Special Prosecutor, and the OSP, as a short while ago, put out a statement confirming the fact that they've had to detain these individuals because of their inability to meet the conditions that are.
Right. Joseph, thank you for that update on this particular developing subject.
Now to the mid-year budget review tomorrow. And have you ever thoroughly followed a budget presentation before? Regardless of whatever your position on this is, the financial statement has a direct bearing and impact on your life one way or the other. As government readies to present the mid-year budget review, Judge Queenan explores the critical concerns of citizens ahead of the big financial day.
As Asempa budget, Impuntuo budget, Ajenkwa budget, and Idasua budget, and there exists a countless number of them. Born out of these are mid-year budget reviews that provide a comprehensive assessment of government's financial performance during the first half of the year and outlines any necessary adjustments to the annual budget.
One thing I like about NEMA is the fact that diversity abounds here. And with the mid-year budget review to be presented soon, is this something of grave concern to them?
Baba Alhaji is a graduate of the University of Ghana who majored in business administration, banking and finance option. Since completion in 2021, he is still home unemployed. It has never occurred to him to follow a budget presentation. After all, it is all about the expression of big grammar to him. He expects government to be deliberate in advancing the standard of living of the ordinary Ghanaian.
It's not about what levy we are scrapping out. Government needs to make money, and these levies and taxes are what government uses to raise money. So if you are taking a levy out, you definitely replace it with another one. So what are you taking out? How does it affect us? What are you replacing with? How would it affect us? And how long would it kick in? That's another issue. How long will it kick in? You are taking away e-levy, which is just 1% of every transaction. So if I'm going to transact 1,000 cedis worth of mobile money transaction, it's going to attract 10 cedis. But now you are replacing with D-levy, which is a solid 1 cedi on every liter. So if I'm going to buy 100 liters, which means I'm going to pay 100 cedis, is that really necessary?
Baba may not be the only one in this, but let's get some expert advice. How important is it following budget presentations?
I'll make a confession. Even some of us so-called experts, we listen to the highlights and then we tune off. And at the end of the day, we go and get the printed copy and then we analyze it and look at it so that we can make proper judgment of what is happening. So if Baba says you won't listen, hey, Baba, I can agree with you.
Elia deals in men's clothing and she still buys the consignment at the same price despite the appreciation of the cedi against other major trading currencies. She wants that trend reversed.
The last time, dollar is 17 cedis. It will come down, but we have some people the same price. So what are Ghanaians doing about this?
The concerns of World Baron amplifies the expectations of many Ghanaians.
You want to first we buy Kenke 4-5 cedis. Today you want to buy Kenke 4-5. You can't satisfy. All that thing we want things to be less. Food to eat must be less. Well, in somewhere in Europe or somewhere in American British, what the rich man can chop, the poor man can chop. But here in Africa, what the rich man can chop, the poor man can chop. We chop two and the rich man chop papaya.
For financial expert Joe Jackson, the ordinary Ghanaian should measure the expectations because Ghana is still broke.
Ghana is still broke. And it is important that all of us, citizens, party members, opposition, wherever you sit in this country, it is important that all of us realize that we are still broke and that we should temper our expectations where this budget is concerned.
It remains to be seen whether or not some policies put in place to cushion citizens would yield the expected impact. Until then, Ghanaians have to make do with what is available. George Quinnin, TV3 News, Accra.
And certainly the budget day will be in Parliament, and Dr. Kaysel Atoforsen will be presenting the mid-year budget to the House. And talking about Parliament, some members of the House have also been reacting, and the Member of Parliament for Kwandai, Matthew Nyindam, has urged the Finance Minister to spend and disburse allocations to ministries and agencies. Sharing his expectations for the mid-year budget review, he indicated that government has done little to turn the corner, but has rather been massaging figures to look good. Other members disagreed with him and his assertions, expressing hope and confidence in the review to be delivered by Finance Minister on Thursday.
They have not actually turned this economic round. There's not been any production to warrant the kind of gains that we've made. But at the ministry, if you are not spending, we've realized that the Finance Minister is not spending. Contractors have not been paid. Even ministries have not been given their allocations. So if you are holding on to the money, obviously the currency will be doing better against the major currencies like the dollar. So until he begins to spend and begin to give the ministries money to spend, then we can then be measuring output. But for now, there is nothing going on. So we expect that since he's coming to do the media, he should be bold enough to spend. But if you are massaging the figures and you want to look good in the books, you see, IMF, their interest is just for you to look good. Okay, your inflation is doing well, your exchange rate is good, this is good. But in actual sense, does it really translate to the ordinary man? Do they really feel the figures in their pockets? Let payments go.
Almost 7 months down the line, cost of doing business is coming down, inflation coming down, exchange rate coming down. You can see for yourself, cost of living is coming down. But a lot of people were not even expecting us to have done even this much. Because looking at how some of the indicators we came to meet, these are all clear-cut indicators that this government means business. And we're just going to do more. Tomorrow, the media budget review is just going to consolidate the gains we have chalked already and even do more. So there's hope coming tomorrow. And the good people of Ghana should relax.
We want to see him pay contractors so that the money can get down there for people to enjoy life. Still, prices of goods and services are still up, and the budget has not solved that problem. One of their major policy planks in the last campaign was a 24-hour economy to create jobs for young men and women. And we want to see how the media review addresses that in particular. So I believe that is a major policy plank they need to address fully in their budget. And last but not least, the issue of Galamsey. I think that they told everybody the Galamsey was going to be solved. They added gold board, that gold board was going to be the panacea for all our gold issues. We want to see how that is being solved, because now the miners are complaining, okay? And Galamsey hasn't gone down. If it clearly shows that there's something that is not working, I believe that when we came to Parliament, I advised them that they should decentralize fully both the licensing and the anti-Galamsey operations to make sure that we can contain them at that level.
Still in Parliament, some women groups led by ActionAid Ghana have petitioned the Speaker of Parliament to pass the stalled anti-witchcraft bill into law. July 23, 2025 marks exactly 5 years since the lynching of a 90-year-old Asiedu-Dartey at Kafaba in the Savannah region over witchcraft accusations. Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection Agnes Namumulati on Wednesday led women groups to present the petition.
On July 23, 2020, 90-year-old Asiedu-Dartey was lynched over accusations of being a witch. Subsequently, the Tamale High Court sentenced 2 persons to 12 years imprisonment each for their involvement in her murder. The Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022, Witchcraft Bill, was later sent to President Nana Addo Dankwa for assent, but he said he was unable to due to constitutional issues. As part of events to commemorate her demise some 5 years ago, Gender and Social Protection Minister representing the Vice President, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, said lessons have been learned. Commissioner of Shraj, Joseph Withau, said the laws should make it illegal to accuse individuals of witchcraft, thus deterring such actions through stringent penalties.
Can you compare that? Are you the Supreme Court? Why don't you allow the bill to go? And then anybody who thinks that there is a basis for challenging the bill, they can do so at the Supreme Court. So I think the question is, we have another president, a new president, who interestingly comes from the same region from which Asiedu-Dartey also came.
Asiedu-Dartey's son and a host of other stakeholders, including the MP for Medina Francis Xavier Susu, joined in the petition.
Now, the first Deputy Majority Whip, Comfort Doyo, has asked the Deputy Minority Leader, Patricia P.J., to be bold and accept the appointment to the ECOWAS Parliament. According to her, the Minority Leader, Alexander Penyumarking, is currently not a member of the ECOWAS Parliament after Ghana's December elections, and by convention, the Deputy Minority Leader is expected to take over. She spoke to Evelyn Tingma.
Honorable Alexander Kwamina Afoyomakin Osahini is removed and Honorable Patricia Apiaje is replaced.
Parliament on Tuesday removed the minority leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin from the ECOWAS Parliament membership. The deputy minority leader Patricia Appiah, who is supposed to take over from him, through a statement declined the position. However, First Deputy Majority Whip Comfort Doyo urged Patricia Appiah to be bold and accept the role, citing convention as the basis for the deputy minority leader's expected ascension to the ECOWAS Parliament membership.
I still know why she should decline, because it's a convention. Deputy leaders are to go to ECOWAS. Then leaders are to go to IPU and CPA. So Fenyo was deputy leader when they sent him there. But if now you have climbed and somebody to have come, you have to leave that one for your deputy. You can't say you alone will do all the three. It doesn't work that way. But I think she's a woman, and you know, some of the women, they can't stand that pressure. That, oh, if my leader didn't give it to me himself, I can't force to take it. But women should be bold. What is for you is for you. Since 92 is deputy leaders who go to ECOWAS. So this one, even there's no need for argument.
She said as it stands now, Ghana's parliament is yet to send a list to ECOWAS after the December elections, and Afenyo-Markin cannot hold himself as an ECOWAS deputy speaker.
Because of this small fight, Ghana have not sent their list. So if Ghana have not sent their list, nobody can go. Just encourage your sister and tell her that, look, I'm the deputy speaker there, so let me lobby my people so that they vote for you. Then you go and tell them you are handing over to Patricia. She can be acting. So maybe another election. Yeah, Ghana's parliament have to send their nomination after election. And it's 6 months now. They can't say you are here, so you will still be there. When I was second deputy leader, I was in CPA. Now I'm first deputy leader. So I have moved to IPU.
For the indulgence of the House.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, and security has been tightened at Aswasi F-line following the brazen shooting and killing of a local chief. The incident has sparked tensions, but authorities are urging calm, promising swift action to bring perpetrators to justice.
Behind me is the scene of a shocking crime that has left the entire Asawasi community mourning. Abdul Malik Azimbe, a respected traditional leader, was gunned down by unknown assailants on Tuesday evening. The tragedy unfolded when two armed men on a motorbike ambushed Chief Azimbe outside his home. Eyewitnesses say one attacker, armed with an AK-47 rifle, fired multiple shots at the Kadi Divisional Area Chief before escaping. The victim was rushed to Menchia District Hospital in critical condition, but was later transferred to Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. As grief grips the community, family and friends gathered at the chief's residence on Wednesday, struggling to comprehend the loss.
The youth, you know the vibrancy they are. At times, if the proper thing is not done at the right time, a time may come we may not be able to control them. So that's why we are pleading to the police, Minister of Interior. They should fast track things so that justice will be administered at the right time to be able to calm down things.
With tensions rising, the Asquaremampo Municipal Chief Executive has called for restraint.
This is very tragic, extremely tragic, and I will continue to urge calm and ask that they allow the security to finish the investigations and be able to unravel the circumstances surrounding this barbaric act.
Meanwhile, Ashanti Regional Police Commander DCOP Emmanuel Kujo says the killers will be tracked. Investigations are already underway, and we urge the public to remain patient as we pursue justice. The Inspector General of Police has deployed a specialized team from Accra to assist in apprehending the perpetrators. We strongly caution against any form of vigilante action. Let the law take its course. As the investigation continues, the Council of Zongo Chiefs is pleading with the youth to avoid vigilante actions and allow due process. I appeal to everyone to remain calm and allow due process to prevail. Once the perpetrators are identified, do not resort to mock justice. Instead, we must immediately hand them over to the police so the full force of the law can be applied. For now, the community remains on edge as police work to unravel the motive behind this killing. The mortal remains of the chief has been sent to Upper East Region for burial. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Asawasi.
Now, another theft of ammunition has been uncovered within the armed forces, raising serious concerns about national security. Speaking to the media, the Minister for Defense, Dr. Omane Boama, stated that while investigations into the 2024 missing ammunitions are still ongoing, more disturbing cases of theft from previous years have also come to light.
Briefing the media during a working visit to the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, Dr. Boama revealed that this is the second time in a short period that missing ammunition is coming to light.
I spoke about the 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the then National Security without due consultation and authorization, which the present National Security Coordinator is seeing to that investigation. When I thought that was being addressed, we have uncovered another one. And in that case, theft of ammunition. And that was even before the 2024 transfer of ammunition from the Ghana Armed Forces to the National Security.
The minister expressed grave concern over the situation, warning that these weapons often end up in the hands of criminals who may use them against the state, contributing to growing insecurity in parts of the country.
The ammunition found in the hands of civilians may not just have come from the ingenuity of those civilians securing them, but may have come from complicity of people who are tasked with responsibility. And so the investigations are ongoing, but the general public must know that these tests have place and we are chasing them.
He further emphasized that a full investigation is underway and assured the public that anyone found to be involved will be treated as a criminal and prosecuted accordingly.
We shall chase the perpetrators to whichever hole in which they will be hiding, because the peace and stability of Mother Ghana is far more important than any other individual's interest.
The minister later visited the Ghana Military Academy and the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College as parts of the working visit.
The ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Dr. Nana Ayiwe-Friye, has indicated that certain aspects of the newly passed Ghana Medical Trust Fund Bill will compete with the services of the National Health Insurance Scheme. He has questioned the outsourcing of 20% of funding from the Health Insurance Fund to support the trust fund, claiming it is not sustainable. The Efijasia Sokore legislator is demanding answers from government on key concerns and has advocated that the COVID-19 levy be rather considered as a support to the trust fund.
I would think that coming into government and promising before election is one thing. So if you have promised that you would actually repeal that act establishes the COVID levy and you will scrap that tax off, I would think that there's nothing wrong for government to be bold to say, sorry, we meant this at this time, and this is the situation we find ourselves, so that the COVID fund could be earmarked to support this work of the trust. Now, what happens to Agenda 111? You are saying the trust is going to take care and support specialist services, infrastructure, equipment, and services delivery. Now, are you going to look at completing some of the Agenda 111 projects and convert it into specialist hospitals? That also, we need clarity, so that if government would convert some of the Agenda 111 hospitals into specialist hospitals, with that clarity of what diseases it takes care of, that would help.
Let's turn our attention to some health-related stories now. And despite the health risks involved, some fisher folk across the country are still placing fish directly on bare ground after harvesting and during processing. This poses serious hygiene and food safety concerns, as the fish can become contaminated with microorganisms affecting its quality and shelf life. There is more in this report.
This is the Tamanu Town beach. The fishermen have brought in shark, but instead of being placed on a platform, a mat or tarpaulin, it is placed on the bare ground. The shark meat will later be prepared by fish processors for your favorite kako, a fermented, salted and hard-dried fish used in stews and soups and patronized by many Ghanaians.
Before, when you come here, the sand is very white, but the women dressing the fish, instead of them to lay a tarpaulin down to dress the fish, they do it bare grounds. So the blood that goes into the sand, they change the color of the sand.
It is a common sight to see fish being placed on ground in some beaches and landing sites in some parts of the country. The situation was not different at Elmina Beach. This is a public health concern, as fish on the bare ground present several health hazards. These include bacterial contamination and potential exposure to harmful substances. The chief fisherman of Tamanu Town is worried about this development.
We are walking here. You don't know what to dispose here. Then they will come and carry the fish on the ground, bare ground, which is not allowed. It's not hygienic. So we normally come and tell them that they should find tarpaulin so that they can lay tarpaulin down. You see, there's somebody's net. The scales and the drop from the fish, the water, will go into the net. Then the net will accrue germs, bacteria, which is not good.
I don't know why they want to put it on the floor before selling, but I would advise that it should stay in the pan. Or if somebody is buying, quickly you just dispose it off into the person's pan.
He was equally concerned about some bad fishing practices being adopted.
Some are using light, which also deteriorate the fish early. It lets fish go bad quick. Others are using dynamite, a lot of chemicals. Others are using omo to beautify the fish.
I can't just imagine it. What is it? What is it that they want? And it's human beings who are consuming this fish. And you are using omo. Because you have used chemical to harvest it, you have to use the omo to... I just don't know. Once you try to solve one problem, they try and find another means of coming up with another.
It's time to intensify education to fisherfolk for them to prioritize proper handling practices to safeguard public health.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. We have sports, business, entertainment all coming.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN. Touch concentrated perfume.
Welcome back to News 360. Time now for business. Michael is with us. Hello, Mike.
Hi, people.
What one in business?
Well, tomorrow is the big day media budget, and of course, expectations that the government will continue with the trajectory they're on.
It's going to be live on TV3, wouldn't it?
Basically, all through the day.
Okay, sure.
The details now. Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obudu. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Ato Forson prepares to present the media budget review to Parliament on Thursday, July 24, 2025. The Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana is urging government to maintain its current trajectory of fiscal discipline. The call from ISEG highlights the critical importance of prudent financial management in sustaining Ghana's economic recovery.
Recent economic indicators, including a significant drop in inflation and strengthening cedi, suggest the economy is showing promising signs of stability. However, Institute of Chartered Economists Ghana, ISEC, stresses that continued discipline in government spending and revenue mobilization is essential to consolidate these gains and avoid a return to past fiscal challenges. On the sidelines of their induction, Chief Economist Gideon Emisa noted the need for predictable and responsible economic governance as the nation navigates its path to sustained growth.
We would expect government to continue with the fiscal discipline so far that we've seen. We wouldn't want to begin to blow out of proportion our budget and be cautious with fiscal deficits, which will culminate into our debt sector. These are the things that we would want to see as far as the media budget is concerned.
ISEC expects policymakers to take into consideration the economic well-being of citizenry.
The budget should be expansionary and in terms of creating employment and getting livelihood favorable for all. So these are the things that we would want to. It should be a budget that would bring confidence, to continue with the confidence, investor confidence and business confidence, as well as household also having confidence in the economy.
The media budget review is expected to provide an update on the government's economic performance in the first half of 2025 and outline necessary adjustments to fiscal plans for the remainder of the year.
The Bank of Ghana aims to conclude stakeholder engagements on non-interest banking by December 2025. Advisor to the governor, Professor John Gachi, in an interview with 3 Business, noted that these engagements are crucial for implementing reforms necessary for a smooth rollout.
According to Professor John Gachi, the bank has engaged with various stakeholders, including professional bodies, the Securities and Exchange Commission, Ghana Journalists Association, and national agencies. He emphasized the significance of these consultations for the successful introduction of non-interest banking and finance in Ghana.
This type of banking has some connotation to people regarding religion. So they want to know whether it is because you want to promote that religion or you want to take advantage of the product and services to enhance the economy and, for that matter, expand the effort of financial inclusion and also ensure that financial products and services are available to allow people to make choices.
Professor Gachi also clarified the reason behind the name change from Islamic banking to non-interest banking and finance.
In Nigeria, they call it non-interest banking and finance. And that is what we have adopted to use because it reflects the secular nature of the country. It also reflects the sensitivity of stakeholders, and it also reflects what is comfortable to stakeholders. And I believe it is comfortable to stakeholders, and that is why we are going by that. And by that, it doesn't take anything away from what we are doing.
The Chamber of Oil Marketing, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, OPEC, has welcomed the government's decision to extend the energy sector recovery levy to cover marine gas oil. The 1 cedi per litre levy, which takes effect adjustment, is aimed at enhancing revenue mobilization for the energy sector. The Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, had earlier called for the move, arguing it would promote equity within the market and help curb the diversion of marine gas oil, a subsidized alternative to diesel.
If we allow that to go tax-free and people think that it's easier to, get that into the system and sell tax-free and make money, we're simply enriching some individuals whilst the state gets nothing. And so it's a good thing that we are now thinking out the box to apply taxes to MGO. Any other product that we think we should also tax it. If at the end of the day there's a need to reimburse after you have been shown that the product was designated for factory use or some manufacturing, then the state can look at reimbursing those people. But to leave some of these products tax-free for people to just dump in the market, sell and make monies, we think that the time is up for the government to start taxing these products. We are happy by that move.
Compliance expert and chief executive of Go Compliance, James Ofori, is urging government to take the lead in promoting quality and safety standards across the agribusiness sector, warning that without stronger policy direction and enforcement, Ghana risks missing out on key export opportunities and long-term sustainability gains. His call comes at a time when only 18% of agro-processors in Ghana meet international certification standards, limiting their access to lucrative global markets.
Most of the businesses that are doing well are not locally owned businesses. So that alone is something that should inform us that a lot of work is required in that agribusiness sector. So yes, we will improve, but it depends on the government's commitment as well. We will only look at maybe future partnerships with some state agencies who are into standardization, so that we can roll out some kind of campaigns and see how we can support some of these local businesses. We do it in our own small way, but hopefully we are looking at on a bigger scale where we can work with some of these institutions in a form of partnership or some collaboration, and then we can serve our people better.
And that'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next is sports.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust. Impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here with me, Oreku Ampofo. We start off from the Black Satellite, who secured bronze in the WAFU Zone B Championships for the Under-20 with a 2-0 win over Niger at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. Aziz Musbao's brace sealed the victory, marking a successful end to Desmond Ofe's 3-year tenure with the Under-20 team. This win has earned the Black Satellites their second medal under Ofe's leadership as he bids farewell and focuses solely on his assistant coaching role with the Black Stars.
Yeah, so 3 years. We started really well with All African Games, of course. Managed to qualify to the AFCON, like I said before. To your colleague, I think the full focus, my personal goal was to qualify to the World Cup. Unfortunately, it's football, you can't win all the time. I've grown a lot personally, but I think we've done a good framework. We have a good structure in place where the next coach can continue. We're here to support, we're here to help. There are good structures in place, and I'm sure we can build, make sure that we qualify to the next Under-20, which will be 2027. So yeah, we're happy with the work that we delivered. But yeah, so and also looking into the future, I think there are a lot of talented boys from the AFCON team that hopefully in the next couple of years they can help us with the Black Stars. So long 3 years, it's not been easy, but I'm happy with the journey, and yeah.
Well, let's do some more here where FC Barcelona and Manchester United have reached an agreement for the loan of England international Marcus Rashford until June 30, 2026, with an option to buy. Rashford spent 9.5 seasons at Old Trafford, scoring 138 goals for United, providing a further 60 assists. He becomes Barcelona's third signing of the summer transfer window and the first Englishman to play for the Catalan side since Gary Lineker all the way back in the 1980s. Here are the first words of the new Barcelona number 14.
Where, people's dreams come true, they win big prizes, and what the club stands for really means a lot to me as well. So it feels like I'm at home, and this is a big factor in my choice to come here, because for me it's a family club, and people are comfortable here, and it's a good place for good players to showcase their skills. Now, I always try to make decisive actions, fast dynamic plays, and I always like good football, so I've always been a fan of watching Barcelona play.
Still on some transfer news, Hugo Ekitike has signed for Liverpool in a deal worth £79 million from Eintracht Frankfurt. Liverpool will pay an initial fee of £69 million plus £10 million in add-ons for the striker. Ekitike scored 22 goals in 48 games across all competitions last season for the German outfit as he helped them qualify for the UEFA Champions League. You can get more updates on the latest stories on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Oreku Ampofo. Up next on the bulletin is entertainment.
Reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani. From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, Facts and analysis on TV, radio, online, and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, the Ghana Tourism Authority, in collaboration with the Panafest Foundation, has held a wreath-laying ceremony to mark the beginning activities to commemorate this year's Emancipation Day celebration in Accra. Now, the wreaths were laid at the W.E.B. Du Bois Center, George Padmore Library, and the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park in honor of the departed leaders and freedom fighters. Panafest and Emancipation have been one of the key events on Ghana's tourism calendar, celebrating the economic, social, cultural, and spiritual contributions of freedom fighters throughout history. Speaking at a wreath-laying ceremony in Accra, as part of this year's celebrations, Minister of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts Ablaji Fagomashi emphasized that civilization began in Africa and therefore Africans must take pride in their heritage rather than undermining it.
Re-educating the African mind, rewriting our narratives, and rebuilding the systems that were designed to exclude us. Bob Marley said, we must emancipate ourselves from mental slavery, break that chain of bondage.
The ceremony honored the legacy of 3 great Pan-Africanists, W.E.B. Du Bois, George Padmore, and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, with wreaths laid at their respective memorial sites. Also speaking at the event, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Mame Fuahwajito, stressed that remembering these Pan-African leaders is not enough, but we must also live out their ideals through our actions and words.
As we lay wreaths at the feet of giants, we do not just honor their memory,
reaffirm our commitment to the ideals they lived for. We do not simply participate in a ritual. We immerse ourselves in a timeless dialogue between the past and the present.
The wreath-laying ceremony served as a solemn reminder of Africa's enduring legacy and the need to preserve and promote the continent's rich cultural identity. And on to some more stories. Global Citizen has officially announced the star-studded lineup for the 2025 Global Citizen Festival, set to take place on September 27 at the Central Park's Great Lawn in New York City. Fresh off hosting the first ever FIFA Club World Cup halftime show, the international advocacy organization is bringing together global music icons and rising stars for an unforgettable night of music and activism. The Weeknd and Shakira will serve as the festival's headliners, joined by performances from Tyler, Ira Star, and Maria the Scientist. And that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you, Noella. Coming up, international news.
Columbia University in the United States has imposed severe punishments, including impulsion, suspension from courses, and revocation of academic degrees on dozens of students who participated in protests against Israel's war on Gaza. The student activist group Columbia University Apathy Divest, which has called for the school to cut all financial ties with Israel, said in a statement that nearly 80 students have now been either expelled or suspended for up to 3 years over their involvement in anti-war protests.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Oh, sorry. We also bring you at 9 o'clock. Godwin Asiedu will be bringing you a documentary, so you need to look out for it.
Do join Alfredo Kanse also at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Good evening.